Please. I'm begging you. Don't take the house. He was in tears. I just looked at him. My expression cold. The same way you begged me to stay after you cheated. Again. Now, if you'll excuse me. My new life is waiting. The shock on his face was perfect. I'm still trying to make the two realities fit together in my head. Just last month, my husband and I were on our first kid-free vacation in what feels like a lifetime. It was perfect. The kind of perfect you see in movies and think is fake. We held hands walking on the beach, had long dinners where we just talked for hours, and we were intimate in a way that felt like we were 20 again. I came home feeling like all the work, all the therapy, all the forgiveness from years ago had finally, truly paid off. We were in a good place. A solid place. I let myself believe it. Today, that belief was torched. It started with something small. His phone buzzed on the counter with a message preview while I was making coffee. It was a name I vaguely recognized, a woman who left his company about a year ago. The message just said, "Last week was fun, hope to see you again soon." My brain tried to dismiss it. It's nothing. It's a work thing. But the wink emoji burrowed into my mind. Why was she messaging him? Then came the cold, sinking question. What happened last week? He was supposed to be working late on Tuesday. I remember being annoyed I had to handle dinner and bedtime for both boys alone. On a hunch, I opened our location sharing app. I scrolled back to last Tuesday. And there it was. A 2-hour gap where his location was turned off. The reason had given me at the time. Bad service in the building. My phone must have been acting up. I didn't storm or yell when he got home. I felt unnervingly calm. I just stood in the kitchen and held up my phone with his location timeline on the screen. Where were you last Tuesday? He started with the script. I told you. I was at work. Had to stay late for that project. Then why was your location off for 2 hours? The blood drained from his face. He knew he was caught. There was a long, suffocating silence before he finally mumbled that had gone to see her. The old coworker. He admitted they'd also hooked up once last year, shortly after she quit. So, this wasn't even new. Last week was a repeat performance. He just stood there, waiting for the explosion. But all I felt was static. The man who was laughing with me on vacation, the man I trusted again, had calmly planned to lie, turned off his phone's tracker, and gone to this woman's house. He immediately started in with the promises. He was sorry. He didn't know why he did it. He'd go back to therapy. He knew he could change. But all I could hear was the echo of the same words from 6 years ago. In that moment, I had a horrifying realization. The vacation wasn't a fresh start. It was just an intermission. For him, it was entirely possible to be the perfect husband one week and a liar the next. They weren't two different people. They were the same man. I just looked at him and said, I need some time alone to think. How do you come back from this? How can things be so good and so rotten at the exact same time? Now I'm sitting here alone in our bedroom. The one we just repainted together. And my mind is playing a highlight reel of his betrayals. It's funny how the human brain works. This new lie didn't just stay in the present. It ripped open a doorway to all the old ones. The first thing I thought of wasn't even the huge affair from 6 years ago. It was the emotional affair with his coworker from just a few months back. I remember confronting him about the hours-long phone calls every single day. The weird inside jokes. The way he lit up when she texted. I called it what it was. An affair. His whole defense. His big argument that finally got me to back down. Was that it wasn't physical. Nothing happened. He insisted. We never even met up outside of work. It's not like I cheated on you. He made me feel like I was crazy for being upset over phone calls. He was so convincing that he almost had me believing there was a difference. Now, I see that argument for what it was. A negotiation. He was defining the terms of betrayal, drawing a line in the sand that he could cross just enough to get what he wanted without, in his mind, breaking the rule. But with this latest hookup, he just proved that his own lines mean nothing. The physical, the emotional, it's all the same to him. It's just about what he can get away with. And that thought pulls me back further. Right back to that first D-Day 6 years ago. The day I found out the woman I thought was just a friend of his was actually his long-term affair. The one that started before we were engaged and continued right through our wedding and the birth of our first son. I remember the shock. The feeling of the world tilting off its axis. I remember discovering the other hookups. The random women. Back then. He was a different kind of sorry. He cried. He begged. He swore he'd do anything. He agreed to couples therapy. He said all the right things. And I clung to them because we had a 1-year-old, and the thought of blowing up our family was just too much to bear. The most chilling part is replaying what he said to me just a few hours ago in the kitchen. I'll go to therapy. I know I can change. It's almost word for word the same script he used 6 years ago. It's a performance. He's not a man who has made another mistake. He's a man pulling out the emergency procedure that worked last time. He saw the look on my face and knew it was time to press the remorse button. But the words are hollow this time. I see the pattern so clearly now, it's like a blueprint laid out in front of me. The lies. The good periods to lull me into a false sense of security. And then the inevitable next betrayal. The only thing that changes is the name of the other woman. My biggest question isn't why he did it. I've stopped trying to understand that. The question that's eating me alive is, how did I let myself fall for the exact same act twice? For a long time. Especially after the first affair. A part of me always wondered what I was doing wrong. Was I not exciting enough? Not attentive enough? Did I let myself go after having kids? I spent years trying to be the perfect wife so he would have no reason to look elsewhere. But as I sit here in the quiet of this house, that whole line of thinking feels completely foreign. The question is no longer, how could I have been better? It's become, why did I let him treat me like this? It's not my fault he cheated. I know that now. Deep in my bones. But it is my fault for staying. It's my fault for accepting his apologies as payment. For believing that his fleeting moments of remorse were the same thing as real, lasting change. The cheating is almost secondary at this point. It's a symptom of the real disease, which is a profound and staggering lack of respect. To look me in the eye after that incredible vacation, after sharing a bed and making plans for our future, and then to deliberately turn off his location and go to another woman's house, that's not a mistake driven by passion. That's a calculated decision. It's a choice that says my feelings, our family, and our entire 16-year history are less important than a fleeting moment of whatever it is he's chasing. He isn't just disrespecting me. He's demonstrating that I am fundamentally irrelevant to his choices when he thinks he can get away with it. And then I think about our boys sleeping down the hall. They're 5 and 7. They're sponges, soaking up everything they see and hear. What are they learning from us? They're learning that a man can lie to his wife and there are no real consequences. They're learning that it's normal for their mom to look sad and tired all the time. I have this flash-forward vision of my oldest son as a young man, treating his own partner this way because this is the blueprint he grew up with. That thought is more terrifying than any fight we could ever have. I cannot let this be their normal. I will not raise sons who think this is how you treat the person you claim to love. So here I am. The tears are still coming. But they feel different now. They're not tears of confusion or desperation anymore. They're tears of grief, grief for the marriage I thought I had. And for the woman who spent years trying to hold its broken pieces together. I know he will never change. I know that if I take him back again, there will be a 4th time. And a 5th. The cycle only stops when I get off the ride. Phew. Even just typing that out feels like a weight is lifting. I know what I have to do. The problem is, I'm exhausted. The thought of dismantling this life, the house, the finances, telling our families, breaking our boys' hearts, it's completely overwhelming. I need to find the energy to move past this. I need the courage to start fresh. For those of you who have been here, how did you take that first impossible step?